good overall. They got nice value on lane. They are also starting to catch up on the minion stacks with Curse now taking the shrine control. So Zealots are in a bit of an awkward spot here. They have to wait for Sonya to be back in the fight.
Have you talked about the level 1 here for Garrosh?
I actually haven't.
Actually, Unrivaled Strength getting picked up. This did get buffed with this patch, so now we get a little bit more range, a little more damage.
I mean, we have seen it before, but it was... I think it was more so an NA talent than in Europe. Europe usually started to go into the quest talent more so than anything else. But in North America, it was definitely one of the more often picked talents from Roll20 and Justin in particular. But at this point, Europe, after the buff, now is starting to use it as well. I've seen it a few times, but with Garrosh, of course, it's still this weird dynamic where he hasn't really found his win ratio in Europe yet. He's still at 0%. Bad Benny with a good slide. Talking Garrosh, he's in trouble. Trying to push a 0 back, but there's the kill. And the Orc goes down.
Orc goes down, but still Zealots are in the lead, 37-34. Can they finish the last couple of minions here to get the Punisher? Team Expert is making a case of going for it, but they actually are going to lose out on the Punisher, but Zealots lose their Sonya.
HGC, look at that, going full God mode as he saves a Zero. I mean, that was insane. That guy had no hit points whatsoever. I was just like, yeah, he's definitely done. And then all of a sudden, the shield comes in and HGC is like, not on my watch, bro, I gotcha. So saves the blind man. One good deed a day.
There you go, Medivh bringing it in here. And again, before we get off this level 1 talent, the Unrivaled Strength, the reason why I like it so much is because they have the Sonya. When the Punisher goes in for the engage, you now have the ability to throw Sonya in with them and go for the hard fight and try to kill your opponent before maybe a portal even comes down. So I really hope that does pay off for Zealots, because so far they have been focusing on the shrine and they have been getting it. So if they can continue to do that throughout the match, I can see that level 1 and Sonya, the synergy coming together.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, in general, you have like a lot of targets that you can use for that, but Sonya for them works in this case quite nicely. Overall, when we're looking at the map, the Zealots are starting to become a little bit more aggressive. I like that they invade the camp here, try to also provide vision so that they can take the fountain down. And the level 7 talent for Oriel, what we have actually already seen in Korea a little bit, in case you haven't seen the Energized Cord now taken as well. So this is definitely something that we're going to see a bit more often now that the cooldown reduction is gone.
Energized Cord there, helping out with those basic attacks, increasing the hope that you do get in from the aggressive Ariel. So you're able to offset that hope that you would normally not be getting by getting in there and getting into your opponent's face. Should be seeing Ariel being aggressive and helping out that Vol with the auto attacks.
Now, we've been talking about ETC a lot during the draft, and I want to highlight again that we have now Echo Paddle on level 7, which is a crucial talent if you're trying to play ETC, particularly if you're playing him in the solo lane, which is not the case here, but still a fantastic talent to take, which gives him, first of all, AoE clear that he can use for wave clear on lane, but also when we're talking about Infernal Shrines, it's a great talent when you're trying to go for those stacks on the shrines themselves.
Yep, clearing them out there, the extra 250%?
Yes.
Yes, 250% on minions and perks, whatever is PvE basically. Very, very strong there. 9.5 hitting for Team Expert and 9.25 for Zealots. With the next shrine activating, both of our teams will have the chance to move towards that level 10. Level 10, in terms of actual heroics, who do you think is favored here when they hit 10?
I would definitely say Team Expert. The synergy that they have on Medivh and ETC alone is already something that I find fantastic.
Oh.
Nice attempt here to get RD in a bad spot, but that didn't really work out. And Mopsio has overstepped a little bit here. I love how Expert immediately capitalized on the situation that occurred.
Yeah.
First of all, it was the Zealots trying to make the play, but then we have immediately Chromie with a slowing stance, pushing Garrosh in a very awkward spot here, and that eventually leads to his death. So it was very well exploited by Team Expert.
Yep, all started there with Curson dropping in that cleanse, making sure Medivh could get away. ETC going in for the power slide, turning it around, and they get the kill on the Garrosh.
It also highlights another thing. It highlights how difficult it is going to be to get value out of Garrosh and his Wrecking Ball, just simply because who do you throw? No matter who you throw, Medivh, if he has the cooldown ready, will have that portal in position to save the target. And if he himself is thrown over, he can just simply shield himself, use the portal, and move out. Noteworthy also, now that we're on level 10, is that Illidan still went into the hunt, has received a huge cooldown increase, but depending on the situation and depending on how you play on the map, it is still the better talent to take here over Metamorphosis.
Chromie gets thrown here, but the big Force of Will come out and the Ancestor Healing to keep her alive. She's able to portal down the bottom side, and on full display here is what we've been talking about since the draft. How do you get the kills here? With the portal coming out from Medivh, Chromie, who was in danger of death, and to point out, Zealots Zealots played that very well. They played around the cleanse, they got the throw, they were able to capitalize on the engagement, but Medivh just being that one X factor that allowed Chromie to get away.
What we just saw from Zealots, on the other hand, was also a smart move, making sure that the fountain is down already. So at this point, they can, of course, now play for the Punisher. But between all of this, look at that bot lane. That is really what we also need to focus our attention to, since we now have the Punisher taken. Since Illidan has by now taken down the fort. So that was a massive trade in favor so far of Team Expert, which are a level ahead now, especially since also Rega, after dropping the Ancestral, moved into the mid lane, caught additional experience, and is now working on a camp.
Working on a camp, pushing him in here. But Zealots do get the Punisher, and this is where they can get the trade-off. Maybe they can push this top lane and work on a keep wall, start to break down maybe a keep. But with Rhaegar and Illidan being on the middle and the bottom side, they have to be decisive. And right now, they're trying to figure out what they want to do. And so far, they decided to go ahead and go to the middle lane and clear up.
Exactly. So it's a 4-4-4 after the Punisher has now taken the one at the top lane. But Rhaegar has pushed in the mid lane even more. And during all of this, Illidan was still busy at the bot lane, pushing the lane out even further, which now forced the Zealots down with Sonya. And this is really where the hunt comes into play again. Think about how Expert is trying to utilize it. They are trying to use that pseudo-global to their advantage. So whenever we see a spawn of any temple in the middle or up at the top, Illidan can simply push to the bot lane, where we now do not see a fort anymore, and force someone down. Zealots don't have the Haka, they don't have a Force, they don't have anybody that can actually react to this with joining the fight, whereas Illidan can always, as soon as he sees someone at the bot lane trying to counter him, immediately hunt top and then join a team fight and turn this into an advantageous position. So the increase on the cooldown in that sense doesn't even matter if you play it properly. It just means that you shouldn't probably move between lanes by hunting. I
do enjoy how Zealots are trying to mitigate that, though. They are looking for ways to break open their opponent and force engages. They found it earlier with the Chromie, which, granted, the kill didn't come out, but they forced a cleanse. They got Ancestral Healing off, and they made Medivh use portals in a way where they can clear out the Punisher. If they can continue to find these moments and find these angles to where at least they trade out something, they should be able to get in a spot where we head in the late game, and maybe that Illidan gets mitigated slightly.
Yeah, this is something that they have to try and see how they're going to deal with it. Maybe they can force something here. And they're trying to force it right now. Bad Benny is already in the middle of things. The slowing sand has been dropped. Here comes the Aegis. Mobsio is low. Oh, the kill nearly, but there comes the Ancestral. Bad Benny is safe so far. Not a single death, but it starts up with a double kill against Zealots as Garrosh, Tacita, and now Sonya fall, and this is only going to be the beginning of the end. Mosh Pit even dropped to a lockdown Vala, and both of those guys are going to die here.
Final one standing here will be the Ariel. Grandpa turns around for the damage, and they're actually not focusing him down too quickly here. Finishing off the Master's Touch here for ADRD, keeping him on the low side, but trying to keep him in the area to where they can delay and stagger deaths.
What a scumbag move. You don't kill the target, you just keep him alive long enough so you get your stacks together.
It's pretty brilliant too.
It was pretty brilliant, but that is still, I mean, that is just mean. Not only do you get the staggered death against your opponent, you're just basically signaling, hey, I disrespect you so much, the only thing you're good for is to give me stacks.
Your life legitimately means nothing. I'm just on a quest. Please let me Q you a couple times. Okay, now you can die. Incredible play there by Team Expert, and they get a 3-level lead due to it.
I've not seen this before. That was good.
You're so tickled right now.
Yeah, I am. It's just the audacity. I've seen a lot of staggered deaths. It makes sense to keep the last target alive a bit longer so you can stagger the death and you get more presence and more dominance on the map. But they just simply used him as a bot to stack the quest. This is awesome. I love it.
Well, now they're going to turn around and work on a Punisher, and they're already halfway done here, over halfway done, as they're about to hit 30 on the minions, get the Punisher pushing in the middle, and start to open up that map more. 16-14, and with Team Expert having a Medivh, he just floats above the opponents and continues to control the pace of the game.
Yeah, it's a really good point that you bring up, because we've been talking so much about the leyline seal, we talked about portals, about shields, what Medivh really offers here, but we haven't even touched on the vision aspect that we have been talking about a lot in the past, but we haven't even highlighted it for this game. The safety alone that you get by being on a shrine in any lane while Medivh is hovering over the opponent's team, so you know how much time they're going to need to rotate between these lanes and set a gank up, is absolutely fantastic. It gives you so much just confidence, and oh my god, look at Mobsio once again being attacked here.
Yep, he baited over the Punisher, but Bad Benny realizing that, went for the power slide, made sure he got stunned and got more damage in, making that tank a little bit less robust here.
Yeah, and also, in the meantime, of course, we still see Illidan at the top lane. With Hunt, he can always join up whenever he wants, and Sonya has now to react. But the wall has basically been broken through already. At least one tower has fallen. We see a 3-level lead, 9-0 kills in favor of Team Expert, 18 versus 15. And of course, that also means that they have their 16 talent way ahead of the opponent's team. And
the 16 will be coming for Zealots soon. They are still 3/4 away, as you were mentioning. Now, I'm trying to see a world here where we can actually have a moment for the Zealots to get into a win. And I think it comes down to that Warlord's challenge. If they do get the engage they want, and they're able to hit on Medivh and stop that Force of Will from coming out, use the taunt, make sure he can't use that Force of Will, Zealots do have a lot of upfront damage that can be devastating. With the Spear at level 7, and then Rain of Vengeance into Vala multi-shot build, you should be able to burn pretty much any target except for ETC on the opposing side. So they need to find a way to control ADRD and make him make a mistake.
Which is going to be rough, but playing around cooldowns would be one way how you can try and accomplish that. If they get that burst in with a bit of lockdown and can kill a target, then Zealots definitely have what it takes to turn the momentum. But it's going to be extremely difficult considering how far behind they already are. And Team Expert, of course, is now starting to push that advantage. They play perfectly around that global, and I really love that Illidan now is to be found again at the top lane, while the rest of the team is pushing through the bot and attempting to break through the wall to open up another potential keep.
Zealots waiting for that 16, hoping for it to get here. The slowing sands making the minions be a little bit late too, so they can't push up and start to actually deal with these impalers that are pushing in on the bottom side. Bad Benny holding that front line too, trying to keep an eye on where the opposing team is with the addition of ADRD on the Medivh, and Illidan continues to keep pushing in top. Does Zealots decide to go ahead and go for the hard engage now? Do they move in? Because they need to with the 19.25 set up for Team Expert.
And just look at this minimap. The entire minimap is in the control of Team Expert. They control everything except for the last row of defense, which is the keeps here. And by now, Illidan is working on the camp to the top right. Still, Shrine spawns top as well, so this camp can easily be defeated while the Zealots move towards it. But as you already said, time's ticking as Team Expert is heading into level 20, and Zealots, they would love to take a fight right now, but I highly doubt that Team Expert is even going for the Shrine before they hit their Storm Talons.
Zealots just need to push, they need to go for it. They're starting to move already to the top side. They might think this is their last chance here to actually stay in the game. And here's where it gets scary. Team Expert, they can push bottom. They can work on a keep. They don't have to do anything here. They have all the power in the world.
Well, they just have to rotate Illidan down, which is exactly what they're doing again. And Illidan, of course, by now has also his level 20 upgrade. He has his Storm Talent, so we have nowhere to hide. And at this point, this looks insane. Zealots are willing to take a 16 versus 20 talent fight. But the thing is, they have to. This is the last fight they're going to get.
And they have to do it against a Crowley and Medivh, who are legends at poking. But hang on, the group just come in here. Hunt comes off across the map. Mopsy will be the lockdown target as he's gotten bursted.
Yeah, slowing stats immediately being used. Leyline Seal already has to follow up as we're seeing ADR. And Mo, we have immediately ETC going in with the March Pit. The Tour Burst, the kill against Garrosh. And now Team Expert is moving in. The Ancestral is hitting Illidan as the shield from Medivh already comes through. Zarmany with a spin to win, trying to make sure that his team survives a little bit longer, but ADR already opened up another portal into the backline. That Benny moves in and drops not only Auriel, but also Sonya.
Auriel and Sonya dead here. Tassadar and Vala. Well, nope, just Tassadar standing here. Shad, the last one standing for his team. Power Slide will end his life. Punisher does go to the Zealots, but the top lane is pushing in, and Team Expert starts to chunk across the map.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You won a Punisher, but you lost the game.
Yep, game is done here with Illidan on the front line, already moving in. Keep is done. We just have Garrosh spawning at the moment, but the core is the main prize here for Team Expert as they toy with the Zealots in this matchup, get a 4-level lead, and win team fights easily, 14-0 kills.
Dominant performance for sure. 20 versus 17 in levels, and right now the core is dropping, and this is game as Team Expert, with a fantastic draft, are taking the lead in the series against Team Zealot.
Yeah, just a bit too controlled there. There was a moment where Zealots at 16-20, their last attempt to even come back in the game needed to be a last-ditch effort where they just beeline across the map. But with Medivh floating above them, you could tell they were scared / fearful of going in for that engage because they knew that Team Expert could play around it with complete control with Poke and Illidan to a point where Zealots just went for the all-in on the Punisher and got picked off.
I mean, I'm just saying it flat out. I think Abathar as a ban was a massive mistake. Either you ban ETC or you ban out Medivh. But you can't simply just give both of them over right at the beginning of the draft to a team that is notorious for using both of these heroes. Abathar would have maybe been a strong argument in favor of Expert if they pick him, but giving ETC and Medivh over was even worse.
Yeah.
And just to underline that again, we have the last team fight, so let's take another closer look at that.
This was the team fight at the very north here, 20-16.